All right, quick reset here. We are back in game number 2 now. Team Dire versus SF Express here on Breaky CBK, joined by Rhyme. This is the Perfect World Masters, as it's called. It is a minor event. Don't let that fool you, though. It's still a $300,000 prize pool. Now, these minor events are one of the 16 that we have scheduled right now come in the upcoming season. So, again, many of these to come, and then there's the majors on top of that. This being a minor event, though, but so far a fun day here for the North American qualifiers. We got game number 2 now. Again, really simple story here. Team Dire, pretty dominating first game, as we really did expect, but you almost did kind of hope that maybe it would be a surprise at this SF Express team that we don't really know anything about. Being an open qualifier team, maybe was going to be able to put up a fight here. But so far, again, Team Dire looking really good and looking to take care of business, obviously on a mission here. So we'll see how the draft develops this time around, though. They banned Ancient Apparition themselves here on the side of Team Dire, and now they end up with a first pick Venomancer, though, as a result of it, how it plays out here. So we're going to see a Venomancer.
Yeah, Venomancer to start off with. I think the main it looks so convincing in the first game, because maybe even if they were similarly skilled teams, like I feel like their draft was just incredibly slow to start off with, and especially against like Beastmaster and AA, like you start getting these like kill combos that come online extremely quickly. Like in the last game, it can get out of hand extremely quickly, especially with the Clinks who just tears down buildings one after the other, and they lost all their towers by like 15 minutes. So I think if they pick something a little bit faster, Spirit Breaker is a good start in that direction, then they'll have a much better chance at even going even in this game.
Well, let's see what this does for them, the Spirit Breaker. Again, on the second pick to come. So this does lead us now into the idea of, we kind of had the discussion there in the first game, where what's your mindset if you're a team like this? Do you go in trying to do somewhat of a standard draft, or do you just try some kind of just off-the-wall cheesy strategy? And the first game, it was kind of wasn't really a cheesy strategy by any means. It's not even over the top standard, but wasn't really anything off the wall. So I'm really, I guess, somewhat hoping that we see something maybe a little different here from SF Express. But again, so far the Spirit Breaker into the Silencer coming out. It's not we're not seeing that, at least just yet here. But the 2 Silencer, a hero that could be a support, it could definitely be a core though as well. Let's see what they choose.
Yeah, I haven't really seen Silencer being played as anything other than a 5, maybe sometimes a 4, depending on how well his early game goes. So I think it's unlikely he's going to be a core. But Spirit Breaker Silencer is a fairly solid duo supports. Like, Silencer is very good in lane. Spirit Breaker is good at moving around the map and making things happen. Also, in mid to late game, you've got the classic, you just charge one guy, Spirit Breaker charges through. After everyone comes out of the stun, you just press global, and then no one can really save the guy getting gone on. So it's generally pretty nice to have, and it deals well with pretty much any pace of any draft. So even with the Vano and Witch Doctor, even if they want to push, like Silencer and Spirit Breaker, they can just go. There's no items that they really need. They don't need blinks. They don't need things like that. They can just go.
Yeah.
So that's what I would expect SFE to go for if they want to have a fighting chance in this game.
Witch Doctor, PPD has been liking to play this as a support option as well, to go along with the Ancient Apparition, which again they banned this time around. You see the Kunkka ban coming out from SF Express. Obviously Misery had fun on that hero last game, as we were pointing out. A little bit over the top even, perhaps, but he was farming away at the bottom lane, got the earlier on Armlet, and was actually doing some decent damage for the team there. So taking away that good pick, the Darkseer ban on the other side.
I'm surprised Lich made it through, but both teams deciding they just don't want to go for it. So sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you decide that you just don't want to play with or against a Lich, and it seems that, I don't think it's a gentleman's agreement or anything like that, but it's just kind of gone through. So maybe they'll opt to ban it, but I don't think they will, because Witch Doctor is going to probably end up playing that hard 5.
Yeah, if anything, maybe banned by Team Dire, because again, Silencer could definitely be a core, but no, they don't care about that. They banned the Bat Rider themselves, and see Nyx Assassin was the final ban from, or the 4th ban from SF Express here. So now that was a very snap ban as well from Team Dire. So already putting SF Express on the clock here for their 3rd pick. Coming out, this is where they picked the Magnus last time.
5 seconds remaining.
Saw that it didn't do too well for them though.
So Barrett would have probably been optimal. So yeah, banning that out is a good start. But in terms of other offlaners, well, some haven't appeared too much. But if they were the die, they'd probably pick Beastmaster, but they're not. They probably don't have someone who's that confident on it. You can even have things like Omni Knight against Witch Doctor Venno that can do pretty well, but he's a fairly slow hero. There's a whole myriad of things they could really go for.
Radiant team pick.
Legion
Elsie
Commander.
is going to be the pick. So it's probably not going to do very well in lane versus Venomancer, but it's generally a safe pick. It's good against heavy right-clicking cores. It gives you something that you can just follow up at a Spirit Breaker charge with. You find someone, you chase after them with Legion Commander, you get your duel, you press global, and you get out. So it's hard to counterplay this duel already, given the fact that Silence is already there. But maybe picking it this early might cause some problems, because LC does have its counters.
Yeah, there's a couple that come to mind. One being like a Dazzle even, but PPD obviously already gonna be playing the Witch Doctors, but they go Chen now. Chen's a very interesting pick. A couple of things to comment on. I love seeing this hero. This is a hero that I've said for the longest time, where I was kind of hoping, way back when the 7.0 came out, the jungle change and everything, that this was potential to start seeing Chen a lot more. But jungle in general just never really took off. That's about what I hoped for. But Team Secret has actually been running a lot of Chen lately in the hands of Puppey, and I know they've been doing it with great success. So I am really intrigued to see how Team Dire now does with it in the hands of Misery here, I'm expecting.
Yeah, I was just watching a secret draft earlier today, and Puppey literally just goes Midas, Ags, Pipe. Or he goes Midas, Ags, and then he buys whatever else he needs because he's sitting at like top net worth by 20 minutes in most games. And it's basically a question of, can SF Express stop the Chen from farming a large amount and getting a lot done in the early game? I think the whole Midas Ags build kind of means that even if you get a lot of stuff done on Chen, like you don't feel like you have to keep doing stuff, you can just sit back and you can farm the jungle and you can just be a late game presence. So I think Chen has kind of found a new avenue into the mid game than he used to have.
There's Sand King coming out with a 4th pick for Team Dire. And this is something we've been focusing a lot on SF Express as far as like what they should be doing with their draft, maybe something cheesy, whatever. But for Team Dire, to be fair, on their perspective, especially now with that first game out of the way, and again, they're feeling pretty comfortable as far as, okay, we're clearly a more experienced team here. This is where you also maybe use a little bit of practice for trying a hero like Chen. And now, people, obviously there's scrims to do that stuff too, but with what's going on right now, there's no scrim time, man. You're literally playing tournament after tournament after tournament. So the idea that you have this time in between to practice such heroes or strategies with scrimmages is not really there. So I feel like this is Team Dire almost using this opportunity to do such a thing.
Yeah, because they could just pick something similar to what they did last game. They could have picked the Conqueror, and they could have picked like Venno into Conqueror, and then they could have picked some lineup around that. They could have done the tried and tested, but they took this opportunity to pick the Witch Doctor and some Chen. They want to basically just sustain, I think, with this lineup. And the Monkey King last pick. So already this LC is going to have a ridiculously hard time in laning stage, right? So there's going to be a Chen that's going to roam on him a lot. He's either going to be against a Sand King, a Monkey King, or a Venomancer. All of these heroes do very, very well versus Legion Commander in a 1v1. Maybe if LC gets some help, the Sand King can be dealt with and the Venomancer can be dealt with, but Monkey King, that's a no-go. So it's already a bit tough.
That goes back to, as you were saying there, picking up 3rd could come back to bite them, and sure enough, it feels like it did. Queen of Pain is going to be the final hero pick here for SF Express. They didn't really think about that for a long time. Pretty confident with that pick, and that means, of course, Sanser going to be that 5 position support here for the team. Misery on Chen, though. This is going to be fun here. Seeing that, this is what I was hoping for in this series, and it just so happens to come out from Team Dire, that we do get something a little unique here, at least in the NA region.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Dire play Monkey King yet. I think they probably have picked it before, but I haven't personally seen them do it. So I'm also interested to see how they kind of play these at the Chen with maybe a lane that they can't really gank. Like Queen of Pain is probably pretty hard to kill, and Weaver as well. So finding the inventive ways they managed to pull off this early game is going to be interesting. They do have a lot of stuns, though. They just have a lot of straight up stuns.
Yeah.
Sand King Burrow Strike, you've got Monkey King stun, and then I don't really count Witch Doctor stun as a stun. It's more of like a save, you know, you just kind of throw it into a fight and you hope someone gets out. It's more of a defensive spell, but yeah, Misery will probably be the one to watch for the Dire. And as for the Dire, Queen of Pain is probably the hero of interest.
Yeah. Going to be mid here for SFE Sports, mid matchup. Who is CCNC playing? The Veno, right? Yeah.
Yes, he's going to be playing the Veno up against the Queen of Pain. So traditionally, not a very good lane for Venomancer, but he's going to have the help of maybe PPD and probably most likely Misery, because yeah, Misery can get a tornado creep. He's going to throw that to mid lane, or he can get like an electric creep and just zap Queen to Kingdom Come to Kingdom Come. Queen and Kings, I've got that all mixed up. But I'm just worried about this Elsie. You know,
going to be a rough game for him, yeah. Well, I mean, you mentioned the laning phase, but what about throughout the game? Could be, yeah, it's really not. It's going to be a tough game for LC.
But the Weaver should do fine. I think unless the Weaver is extremely pressured by like 2 or more heroes, I think his farm should be okay. I think they probably want to make sure the LC is against... I don't even really know if they want him to be against any of these heroes, really. Because the lane with Sand King is going to be rough. I think Sand King is probably easier to deal with than the Monkey King, however. So,
So I'm actually looking at the Dota buff here for Team Dire while we're in this pause. And a couple of really interesting things that are standing out to me. Just some kind of fun facts, if anything. But on Jakiro, they're actually 9-1 on Jakiro. So Jakiro's their third most played hero, and they're 9-1 with it. So there's a reason why we see teams can either pick against him or even ban it in the initial banning phase. PPD, very comfortable hero for him. Necrophos, they're 8-0 with. So I don't know if anyone's really surprised by that stat, but there you go. And they have not played Chen yet. So I was confirming that they have not played Chen yet in any of these qualifiers, at least according to Dota buff here. So this is going to be the first time they do it. Like I said, if anything, it's a little bit of a trial. Perhaps they've been witnessing the success of Team Secret and what's been going on over there, and figuring, well, let's give it a shot ourselves. So got those boots first.
He has been detected. He breaks the smoke on the silencer, so he's just going to end up in a little fight here, but nothing's probably going to come out of it.
Oh, and they're what was it also on Lich? They are 3-6 on Lich. Lich is actually one of the worst heroes, surprisingly enough, for Team Dire.
Well, you got to consider the fact that it's also the first pick heroes, so
fair. You
got to look at the win rates of heroes that are first and second picked with a little bit of pinch of salt, because sometimes if your hero's sitting at 50% win rate, or even like a 45% win rate, and it's a first pick hero, that means that even if it's 45%, it means that you're only beating a first pick hero 55% of the time when you have 5 heroes to pick against that are probably good against it, you know? So when you're looking at hero stats, you do have to consider like where they appear in the draft as well.
Okay, that's a good point. Necrophos 8-0. He's probably picked up pretty early too.
Yeah, he's picked up pretty early, so yeah, beating that hero seems to be very difficult. That hero is probably stronger than most heroes have ever been. Like, it's probably in like the echelons of TI5 Leshrac and things like that, you know, right now.
All right, here we go, though. Laning phase about us. Pycat on the Monkey King. Going to be ending up in the bottom lane, of course. Look at this, though, from SFE. They're setting Spirit Breaker down here to start, and turn off Weavers also going to be down here. So running an aggressive duel, even a trial lane. A Silencer's making his way over as well. He's going to be spotted here, so they, oh, is he trying to counter? Yeah, he actually sees the ward, so he is going to be able to counter this ward over here as well. So nice early bounty for the Silencer.
Already starting with that vision advantage is going to work well for them.
But the choice to go aggressive here, what do we think about this? Sending the Weaver to the bottom lane with the Spirit Breaker.
I think putting the Monkey King in a try-v-try situation and making sure his farm is pressured and to guarantee the Weaver's farm, I think it's the best decision. I think they just got to make sure that they don't die when this Chen decides to make his move.
Oh.
Pycat is in trouble,
yeah,
but he's going to maybe turn around?
No. First blood potential there, but not enough. We saw them in the last game, too. They got Zai pretty low in the bounty rune fight and weren't able to capitalize on it, so. But, yeah, man, look at Weaver. He's already losing a bit of life. He does have a salve he'll be able to pop here if he feels a little too much in danger. But now we see Chen, again, being nearby. Always have to keep that in mind. That he could come in to assist here.
It's things like this that show you, like, they're not really, I don't think they're running this Tronian as good as they could be, because, like, they're just farming on the tower. What is the point of Spirit Breaker and Silencer going, like, being here? Are they going to attack the Monkey King when they're farming on the tower?
Oh.
No. Like, also a solo kill coming up from Zai. Well, it's Sand King versus LC. It's not a very fun matchup for the Legion Commander, but I don't think you ever expect a solo kill.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just in that time, I think Spirit Breaker should have been roaming mid. Like, they don't need to be sitting 3 heroes farming a wave under their own tower.
That's a good point, and that's like a learning experience, if anything, for a team like this. You know, on this quote-unquote big stage again, and facing a team like Team Dire, that hopefully they do take that into consideration moving down the line. But yeah, I was looking at the bottom lane, of course, if anything, expecting action to happen down there, and sure enough, Sand King solo kills the LC up here. So Zai is having a very, very good start, to say the least. That was a middle matchup doing 12-1 Veno versus a 16-2 Queen of Pain. So Quap's actually winning this matchup so far. And is that expected for you now?
It's not as bad as I think. Some of these awards, because CCNC's going 0-2-2, so he's killed a few wards now. So he's a bit ahead in net worth, but it's like 1 creep different. So, but this lane gets harder for Quap as levels increase on Veno, because then he can't kill the level 3 wards, and that's the point where Quap just kind of has to sit back and accept that Veno is going to farm.
You see a little bit of assistance, or the idea there that Spear Breaker, he's in the area. He's going to try to make a play, but again, you can't forget Misery farming away on the Chen. He's actually going to take over the Satyr here, has the Hadouken, also known as the Shockwave. And nice heal aura for him and his minions. Top lane, there's not another kill up here, is there? No, Zai's going at it with that Caustic Finale, but gonna apply the pressure, get a nice farm out of it, and yeah, I mean 22-4 versus a 10-0 LC. He's having a very good time. Middle lane though, Scream on to CCNC, first blood potential. They blink in, that's a kill. Oh, it's not first blood. What am I saying? The first blood already happened, but they get their first blood for the team.
Spirit Breaker waited a long time for it, and it worked out. So getting that kill is extremely important. I think it enables Quap to just be the hero that can move around and do stuff, because they need Quap and Spirit Breaker to really be the ones that make things happen, because Weaver's locked in this strange tri-lane situation, or dual lane now. LC he's getting God on, is probably going to die, so maybe? Yes.
Yep, another Hadouken. We'll finish the job right there. So you see the Pentant coming out and amping that damage.
Top tower is under attack.
How about the decision, by the way, going Penitent? Penitence? Anyways.
Penitence, yes.
I don't know if, so you mentioned, I didn't get the chance to watch those games of Puppy, I just noticed that he was doing that. But leveling up the Q, was that something that he's doing? Is that something that's normal even, or is this a little bit different?
I think it's just straight up better now. The damage on Test of Faith isn't as good as it used to be, I think, from a long time ago. And Penitence got buffed, so I think now it's pretty much the clear choice. It gives you bonus damage on all of your creeps. You Shockwave for far more, you right-click more. Yeah.
He just denied his own creep right there, by the way. That was well played.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Now Spirit Breaker, he's in trouble. The Centaur does have a stomp. They have a net as well. This is a dead Spirit Breaker.
Zai's just waiting in, seeing if he can get the follow-up stun on the LC if he goes too close, but
no.
They don't get the +1 kill, but Zai's just going to happily farm this out. So I think it's up to Queen of Pain to really be the hero of the story. But he's got the farm to maybe do it. He's got level 6 now. He's going to probably skill ulti at level 8. Veno has just left and is now jungling. So it's up to Quap. I don't know what Quap can do though. It's very hard to move around. Like, she doesn't have the best vision. She's got a ward on bot rune, and she's got, well, I think that's about it. But maybe with this haste rune she can do something.
Bottom lane, charge coming in. Pycat's in trouble. Curse put up. There's the Swarm as well. The Bash proc doesn't get it, doesn't matter. Monkey King will fall. We see Zai porting in. Level 6 even already, so pretty beefy himself. Last word, he'll drop to about half-life, but he'll be fine. So nice kill on Monkey King, though, using the Spirit Breaker. Get that initiation. That's what he's good at. What is this about? Queen of Pain running down the Witch Doctor, meanwhile. The bounce, so it does not bounce back. That's what he was hoping for. Maybe get denied by the neutral. No, the Scream will finish the job. So there you go. Queen of Pain needing to get a good start here, and definitely is. Top lane Legion Commander now in trouble, though, and the Boundless Strike will finish LC there. So they do lose one, and they lose another at the bottom lane. All 3 lanes. Jeez, is Zai dead, though? Charge coming in.
I think he should be.
Yeah, that was a bash proc.
Definitely is now.
Get her bash for the win.
A nice tower. Ooh, that's 9 HP.
He'll actually live. So after all of that, I mean, what was that, like a 3-for-1, I want to say, or 3-for-2? SFEs.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. Like, with a Chen, Spirit is getting things done. Chen isn't really that far ahead. He's going to get top tower, though. And when the tier 1s start going down, that's when it starts getting difficult for a lineup like SFEs. But it's really, yeah, they're doing okay. And Spirit is now going to charge into the Venom.
Sonic Wave, it's ready. Gets a Shadow Strike up. There's a duel on a Witch Doctor, trying to get some plus damage. Scream will help for that. However, Spear Breaker, he TP's out, not going to work. CCNC standing his ground. Don't know about that, though. Sonic Wave in the face. Absolutely melts him. So, yeah, nice couple of kills again for this Dire side over here. And Team Dire, it's now tied at 6 hero kills apiece, and 2,000 net worth lead for them. I mean, Chen pushing that top lane while this is all happening. But this is definitely feeling much better for SFE this time around than it was the first game, that's for sure.
They get a 2-for-1. They get the LC dual damage. Like, LC is now starting to recover from his poor laning stage. He's not that far behind. He's going to have a pretty difficult road to maybe his Blink or whatever item he chooses to go for first. I think Blink would probably be the item to go for. Quap is just doing fine. So I think Dire, or the Dire will probably try and bait this Quap into some kind of fight where she's going to get Sanking stunned and then killed. But Monkey King is still able to farm top lane with pretty much complete freedom. And I don't think this is ideal for SFE over here.
Yeah, for now he's continuing to push it up and not much being done about that, it seems like. Misery now is finding himself in the middle lane to push with the team. Has the Troll Summoner, has a Wildwing Ripper, and has a Satyr. This is army here. Going to even use a Tornado in the back lines to harass and try to push back the creep wave that comes.
Spirit Breaker from one side, LC from the other.
Doesn't have Poison Nova. Collapses in. There's the net. Got the curse being put up. Hadouken comes through. Weaver. Oh, yeah, he needs a time lapse. He time lapse backwards. He will be fine. Meanwhile, Spirit Breaker trying to run now. Boundless Strike catches him, though, and as Shockwave comes on through to help secure it. So, Zai credit for the kill. 1-for-0 here. It's not done just yet, though. I mean, they're still here to defend. The Sonic Wave is not up for another 20 seconds for Queen of Pain, though. Well, it's not going to be enough to push, however. Team Dire deciding it's not worth it.
Yeah, at this point, they get a little bit, they get a Spirit Breaker kill, they force all the heroes here. They're not farming with Weaver, they're not farming with Queen of Pain in this time. So it's worth just do these little pokes and prods. You get a little nice trade, but most of all, you just get time where just people aren't farming on the enemy team, so it's just worth.
Bounty.
Zai, here we go. Epicenter, I was waiting for this. He stuns him with a Burrow Strike, going for the kill on a Spirit Breaker here. The gas comes out, and that will be a kill on a Spirit Breaker. So nice setup there. Zai, very good patience. He was hiding in those trees for a while, and eventually found the target.
And that is the Blink Dagger coming out on the Sand King. So Weaver's life just became scarier. Elsie's life just became scarier. Queen of Pain, maybe a bit too tanky to kill with like any one hero, but and Sanking stun, but still a bit scarier.
Oh, the duel set up on a Venomancer. He came in with the Invisor, and that's going to be a winner-winner chicken dinner for LC again. Now it's plus 20 damage. Global Silence also committed to that as like a just-in-case. Don't know if that was really 100% necessary, but again, they really want to make sure to get that kill. It's understandable. He's at the tower. Don't want to be turned there.
Middle tower is under attack.
You don't want to get stunned by some Monkey King sitting in the trees and lose the kill as a result. But I don't know if Monkey King was visible on the map, but yeah. So taking no chances, you can understand why they would do that.
So
overall, it's just I'm worried about this Weaver. He's sitting at 37 CS at 11 minutes. He's got a distant dream of a Lincoln Sphere, but it's a dream that is a long, long way off. So Queen of Pain got Veil, sitting at level 11. if we look at net worth, he's sitting top by about 1K.
Yeah, not bad actually.
So,
Yeah, we're all doing pretty good.
And LC is catching up, but I'm just looking at this Chen. He's just insidiously climbing up this net worth graph. He's sitting at 3K now. He's going to surpass the Legion Commander fairly soon.
Top tower is under attack.
So he's the one I'm worried about.
He almost
Because
has.
I think he's the hidden core here.
Almost has the Hand of Midas finished. And so you're mentioning that Puppy, I guess, been doing the Hand of Midas into the Yags even to come. So we'll see if that's what Misery kind of follows here. As far as the build goes, he's going to find a double damage rune to pick up and assist with more farm most likely. Silencer, running right into a trap, unfortunately. Zai stuns in. Has backup here from PPD. Death Ward is here as well if they need it. Weaver comes in. Curse goes up, though, and Silencer's going to survive for the time being. Press the attack, heals him up. Scream now, used on Sand King, and he gets bashed on through as well. PPD charges the backlands, pops the Shrine for the team. The Poison Nova used throughout this as well. On top of it, Venomancer Epicenter coming out from Sand King, turns on LC. And the rest of this Dire squad over here is just going to retreat. Only being the one death, but seemed like they could have definitely got a turn out of that. Unfortunately, they lose LC and don't get anything out of it, and that's a middle tower kill now while that's happening.
Yeah, I think pushing up into the Shrine against the Sand King is probably not the play, but yeah, they just kind of wanted to get return kills. They had the right idea, but they just went a little bit too far with it. I think even backing off after the initial go. Silento was very optimistic with that TP, but again, forcing the cask is probably the right play there. So it could have been good, but ended up not being, so they might just have to forfeit this tier 2 top as a result. But the smoke coming out, they have global up. Spirit Breaker is going to charge through.
There we go. Charges on. 2 CCNC there. No Poison Nova again. The global silence as well. Trying to initiate off of this. CCNC is getting low. He finally does die. The Sonic Wave actually hits multiple heroes. They also pick off the Witch Doctor to the backlines. LC though. The pressing attack's not going to save him. And neither Spirit Breaker. He goes down as well. The Wukong's command popped here by Pycat. Zai's barely alive. The stun through onto Creep right here. And that Queen of Pain, and actually stays alive to Zai, and now Creep's the one in trouble. Has another blink to get away and survive. Chen was picked off in the midst of the fight too. Obviously he does have his minions still to help. Weaver, in fact, wow, that wand heals him up and gives him a full mana bar.
Cop blinks in here, he gets Sand King stunned. This could be, oh
no. Yep, that was a trap all along. That's a great thing about Chen as well. The fighting after death catches him off guard. The time lapse used right there by Weaver. He goes back in. I mean, Sand King continues to be so low in this fight, but they just can't finish the job. They finally will. The Gemini attack coming out right there. They press the attack to heal up Weaver. Monkey King trying to finish the job on him. Gets bashed up to the Nether Strike. Also stunning him further. Can he get the Battle Strike off? No, we cannot. The dual setup. A double kill for SFE here, and it's probably going to be a triple kill, well, at least for the team, as they finish off PPD in the long run. So, yes, they lost Queen of Pain, but they ultimately finished really everyone off there. The big picture.
That fight could have been incredible, but TPD just forgot about the Spirit Breaker. And Spirit Breaker didn't forget about them, so he just charges through. They get the... I think that was just a series of overextensions. You could just see it happening in advance. You knew that Cop was going to blink in, Sand King was just waiting, and then it all just kind of unfolds. So, overall, it's only a 1k lead for Radiant at this point. Queen of Pain is getting pretty close to the Yules. Going to have that after a few minutes now, maybe 2 or 3. Everything is kind of going pretty well for them. Like, Weaver is now starting to catch up. He's now sitting at 2 and 1, 52 CS. Not the greatest, but overall, I think the teamfight core of SFE is starting to come online.
What about Pycat's decision here now to go for a Battle Fury next? We'll see if he commits towards it, but Echo Saber into the Battle Fury to come out. Binsbury, by the way, he's trying to live right here. Hold that thought. Hand of God used. It's not going to matter, though. The minions may be able to try to get up a turn kill. Creep, he'll manage to blink away. That Death Ward obviously out. Unable to get any turn kills, though, from PPD. He does not have Maledict, by the way. He is leveling up that Voodoo Restoration instead in full.
Yeah, I think the Voodoo Restoration versus like Silencer, Co-op, this heavy AoE damage is good just to keep your team alive. But as for the Battle Fury, I've been seeing it quite a lot in Southeast Asian Dota. Mushi's been going some Boots of Travel, Echo Saber, Battle Fury build. Isis has been going Battle Fury pretty much every game.
Okay.
I think I saw Arteezy play it. He went Battle Fury into like Silver Edge or something like that. it's just generally been the go-to item to keep Monkey King relevant in games where he would otherwise like slow down, because the hero, he farms decently. He can farm with Primal Spring and a bit with Boundless Strike, but overall, the Battle Fury really, it's just nice on him. He uses the damage pretty well, and it helps him farm a lot, so it's a fairly safe item choice.
Zai, we've seen him here before. Got a kill out of it the last time. Now, last time there was a teammate nearby. I was also at the tower right here. He's trying to be patient here. Actually, will just blink in, though, and just farm instead. So, yeah, Weaver going the Hood of Defiance, actually. And even as now a Blade of Alacrity picked up towards the Diffusal. So I know he's had that Lincoln skewed up. We were talking about that earlier, but he may actually be going other items first and then eventually picking it up here. But, you know, what do you make of his decision-making as far as the items go?
I think he's correct. I think that Lincoln is not going to save him from getting Monkey King stunned and hit by Venom ulti. I think the Hood is probably the best way to go. And then he realized if you're going Hood and going Lincoln straight after that, probably not the play, because then you just kind of don't do anything. You survive, but you survive to do what exactly? So going for the Diffusal, I think, is the correct choice. So he'll be able to basically hunt PPD.
Queen of Pain, Global Silence comes out, though. Chen could not follow up effectively because of the Global Silence. And it allows Queen of Pain to escape, actually. So that was an Epicenter initiation. Spear Breaker takes a Barrel Strike. Here comes a follow-up. The Hadouken goes through. The cast coming out, but he charged away far enough to survive. So great getaway, actually, from the Dire side, that is. And meanwhile, the top lane, CCNC goes down. Poured out, not going to be enough. LC will melt away. That's a Poison Nova, I'm guessing. That was used right there, yep. From Venom answered return. So that he did, and Silencer actually goes down in the middle lane. Meanwhile, speaking of that, Pycat, he might pay for this. Sonic Wave coming out. Yes, enough damage to finish him off. The Wukong's command. It was actually casted too, by the way, so that's going to be on cooldown now for a while when he comes back up. Bottom tower. It is going to be destroyed by Misery. Queen of Pain gets stunned up. Saw what happened last time. This time blinks away again. Charge coming in from the Spear Breaker. Runs right into the Centaur Stomp, though. PPD's here as well, and yeah, Spear Breaker. That was an ambitious dive on his part at that point.
Yeah, that was ill foretold. But now Weaver's gone the chase. He's hunting many Chen creeps. He's probably going to get one or two. Senki's going to hang around, maybe get the stun out, but there's going to be no follow-up whatsoever. And they may lose the Chen here, but I don't think they want to chase into the Monkey King respawning in 5 seconds. So, oh no, never mind. They're just going.
Doesn't have a Sonic Wave. They're going on to Misery. There's the Hand of God coming out. Monkey King is TPing in, so they kill Chen. Nice time lapse from the Weaver right there. Goes the other direction. So Silencer, maybe a sacrificial lamb here. But if you're SFE, I mean, really, okay, he's going back in. Quap wants this kill, man, on a Witch Doctor. And the backline's actually the duel. They do take out Zai as well. And there's a charge in. They take out Witch Doctor. And now Pycat could be in some trouble. So it just keeps happening. I was going to say SFE, they may want to back off here, but you know what? They're kind of working out as far as the keep on going strat.
Yeah, I think the main problem here is that CCNC is basically, the last few fights he's been in, he's died, and then he's got a kill after he's died, but they haven't really got that much out of the 6.8k net worth they have on this Venomancer. They haven't really been fighting with him. He's not really been in the right places. I think generally they haven't, as a whole, the Dire haven't really been that selective with the fights they're taking. You know, they just kind of, if it's a fight, then let's just go. Let's just take it. And against the lineup with Spirit Breaker, there's a global, Quap and Weaver are extremely maneuverable. It's very easy for SFE to bring 5 heroes to a fight. I think that's the reason at this point that they're starting to fall behind. Or not necessarily behind in gold, but like in terms of flow of the game.
Well, Chen, the Ags almost finished, so there's a plus there as far as something going for Team Dire. But top lane, as I say this, Chen, they're roaming on him. The Invis Queen of Pain. Yeah, support coming over. How patient can they be? Will they get the setup they're looking for? Zai, he's up here as well, obviously, and it doesn't seem like they are. In fact, Legion Commander will go back into the jungle. He's won 3 duels here so far, has the plus 30 damage. As a result of that top lane, Zai getting a little too comfortable. Barrel strikes through the Invis Queen of Pain, but he sets up the duel. And the Scream should be that's all that's needed, and indeed it is. So Creep gets credit for the kill, but another duel victory for the LC right here. So yeah, Zai just simply trying to push up a lane by himself, gets picked off, and Yeah, one thing that's continued to be the case is the fact that Team Dire does actually have a net worth lead still of about 1,000, but again, SFE, they now have the experience lead of around 2,000 or so, and this Queen of Pain, she actually almost has her own Lincolns now finished. On top of it all,
if she gets that Lincolns, she becomes pretty safe from the Sand King, who has been the main source of initiation for the Dire at this point. So that Lincolns is going to be extremely helpful. The Queen of Pain, she's just going to be very hard to kill. Like, they need to land Monkey King Stun and they need to land Venomancer spells on her, possibly with some Centaur follow-up from one of Misery's creeps, but I'm getting worried now for the Dire, really. Weaver's starting to work towards Lincolns. Once they get 2 Lincolns up and LC gets a Blade Mail, it's a pretty much guaranteed kill on Monkey King when they drop the global. So he's working towards his Battle Fury. He's 800 gold away, but I don't think he really wants to fight at this point. So they're all just pushing different lanes.
Uh-oh. Race to the Haste Rune. And Creep, he picked it up first. He bottled it up even. He's going to pop it right here, and that's an easy kill on Witch Doctor. The Shrine that's not going to save him, though. And that's a wasted try now on top of that. Of course, again, the Global Silence was used for this, but get the kill on Witch Doctor. We'll see what else they can get off of it. At least the middle tower kill, most likely. Seems like what they're going to make
I would say
happen.
normally wouldn't be worth it, but they did get the D-Ward, so now they have basically complete control over the Dire's. Alright. PPD's team's jungle.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That they do. The Vision's up.
Highly valuable at this point.
Ooh, top
And in
lane.
fact, the Vision War is being completely won at this point by the Silencer and the Spirit Breaker, who seem to be pretty much everywhere.
Structures are fortified.
Except top lane, apparently.
Yeah, the top secondary getting pushed in there. That was Venomancer up here, but he TP's out as they're coming in, so they'll push it back now. Venomancer, CCNC's building the Hurricane Pike. As far as the follow-up goes to the Villa Discord, but again, I look back at this Monkey King, who still doesn't have the Battle Fury finished. I mean, I guess the timing's all right because he went the Echo Saber first. They were going to kill, like, he went other items. It's not like a first item Battle Fury by any means, but it goes back to, you know, was this the correct choice? And we'll see if it pays off for them. I guess in the long run, this could pay off for them much better. The idea that he really ramps up his farm here, and good news for Team Dire to look forward to, but
yeah, I think the problem is, like, the Dire need to group up as 4, like, with Monkey King maybe farming apart, and in order to make best use of that kind of thing, they need to make sure he has Battle Fury so he can farm the jungle on cooldown and that kind of thing, and push out lanes quickly, because he doesn't want to have to use Boundless Strike to push out every creep wave, because then he's got no defensive spells at all.
I'll take your tribute.
Radiant's
fair.
bottom tower is under attack.
And now, he's going to go bot the tier 1 bot. It's to be seen if Zai wishes to stop him. They're going to smoke up.
Worthy tribute.
he does have backup, kinda. Silencer as well as the LC. There's the jump. Can he time-lapse in time? Oh, there he pops time-lapse. Sakuchi, he's going to be caught by the Yules. There is no Global Silence. Oh, Global Silence is up now, by the way. Death Ward being channeled. Weaver just going to keep on going, though. Another Sakuchi. And he'll just keep on flying away. You got LC, also Blink Daggering away, and there's a port out from Weaver on top of that. So they may catch Silencer in the end. But considering how that started, Team Dire definitely wanted more out of that.
Yeah, they really did now. They're basically going to trade a Silencer for a tier 1 tower. But I think with the Silencer dead, yeah, defending this tier 2 bot is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, and LC, I don't know what he was doing sticking around. That bites him in the ass right there, and now you have Weaver keeping on the outside. But you do see the ancient push of Chen coming through. Has the Granite Golem, has the Black Dragon right here, and has a Hellbear Smasher thrown in. So that's the tier 2 tower.
The game may just end here if they don't take this very, very carefully.
Oh, LC feels similar. He buys back even. Zai, in fact, the Sonic Wave was just out of range. The Scream of Pain does hit a couple. There's the Eels up onto the Sand King. May not save him in the end as Venomancer stays alive throughout that, though. LC, that was a tieback on him. The Wukong's commands doing plenty of damage. In return, the Boundless Strike to take out Weaver. Down goes Queen of Pain, and you're right. This could just be the game in favor of Team Dire. Just like that. What on earth?
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Just one small pick off onto the LC, and then everything's just out the window.
Dire's middle
The ancient,
tower is under
like,
attack.
Chen has come online,
Dire's bottom tower has
as they
fallen.
say, so...
Yeah. This ancient army destroying, but I mean that was definitely more than just simply the ancient army. That was SFE really trying to reach for a fight right there. And again, the Sonic Wave missing to start it off is not what you're looking for. And now that's a Rax killed, and Team Dire has a very cozy lead now to work with, up to an 8,000 net worth lead on paper here. Things just got a little better for them, because now you also have Monkey King. He just about has a BKB finished in full, following up the Battle Fury. I mean, and everyone else across the board obviously has items coming now.
Yeah, the problem is now that there is like still a chance. Cop's sitting near the top of the net worth, but now there's been a smorgasbord of buybacks. Like LC diebacked, Weaver bought back but didn't die back. But the Lincoln's is delayed. LC's Halberd is going to be delayed. Maybe I still think he should have gone Blade Mail, but yeah, everything's just kind of been set back. And Misery now, he's moved up to 3rd place on the net worth. He's ascended and moved past CCNC. He's probably going to look towards, well, anything he wants, really. If he was Puppy, he'd buy a pipe, but I don't know if he wants to head down that path. He decides he's going to head for the Crimson Guard. Because,
yeah, it's Crimson Guard, not an item we see often, but just go figure. With the earlier series, we saw it once on an Underlord, and now we're seeing it here on a Chen. So it's proven today, at least, to be popular item pickup. Yeah, that was he bought the mech first, then he sold that, and so clearly was thinking about talking it over with the team, I'm sure. What they thought made a lot of sense, and they end up with the Crimson Guard, and yeah, Weaver and LC, Spirit Breaker, a lot of physical damage there, a lot of minions to put that buff on.
Going from the Dire, Spirit Breaker is going to cancel his charge, realize he's a bit ahead of his team.
Oh,
do or die.
Yeah, this is a big... This is probably the last opportunity for SFE. They open up with a duel on a Venomancer, trying to pick him off first before a Poison Nova. They get the kill, so a decent start. He's dead for a minute in full, but that Battle Fury Monkey King with the Wukong command doing plenty of damage. The Death Ward in the backlines. PPD is going to stay alive for now, and a Weaver barely escapes out. That was Queen of Pain, excuse me. He blinks out, that is, but they're going to go back to Roshan and finish the job now. It was a 2-for-1 fight. A decent start for SFE, but they used their whole load there onto the Venomancer. Didn't have much else
they just
after.
have to kill. This fighting is so difficult now because you have Monkey King who does an insane amount of damage. He's also got his BKB at this point, so killing him is almost impossible. You have to kill the Venom before he gets any of his spells off, because if he gets Veil ulti off, you're all dead, no matter what you do. So they took the fight how they had to take it, but they have to trade, and that trade is not going to be favorable. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, really.
Good way to look at it here.
They are damned, I think, at this point.
Yeah. They are behind.
Lincoln's or Weaver coming for 300 gold, so that's going to give him an avenue of escape. Lincoln's is already up on Queen of Pain. She's probably going to go for the Maelstrom because that's the next item that's easily purchasable. Is it going to be enough?
Curious, so again, we don't get the chance to see Chen much, but with the Zags, and I don't know how much insight you really do have, but what ancient creeps are you looking? Is this like the ideal? I know the attack speed R, the frenzy buff is also really good for pushing like this, so one of those guys would be nice to have.
A Wild Wing is always pretty nice because you get the armor, but the Dragon is just very good for just getting that AoE damage, because the Fireball actually does a pretty large amount of damage.
Yeah.
And again, the Granite Golem just makes everyone that bit more tanky, so...
See right here, they're trying to hold the best that they can. Weaver.
I think pretty much every single ancient creep, apart from the Thunderhide, is good for pushing because that one has very low armor compared to the others.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the one I was mentioning with that's the one with the attack speed buff, right? The frenzy.
Also, the Prowler is extraordinarily weak compared to the others.
Venomancer.
Because its whole thing is it roots, but in the team fight that isn't very useful because you don't really see ancients killing people just by right-clicking them in team fights very often.
Fair enough, and he's going to keep with the armor that he has, which right now is 2 siege creeps. The Granite Golem as well as the Black Dragon. So they
what
get
I like about Chen is, this new way of playing Chen, is they go Midas Ags and then they just take a Rax and they're like, well, I could buy something now, and they just buy a 4k gold item straight up. In this case, it's Crimson Guard. In Puppy's case earlier today, it was a pipe. He just bought one straight up. They overflow in gold. They don't really know what to do with it. It's just so they just go, I want that one, and they just get it. It's quite funny to see.
It reminds me similar of like an Enigma, honestly. These kind of heroes that are made to jungle, it feels like, but we don't really see jungle nowadays, so Instead, you know, they just happen to go to the lane and get plenty of farm. I mean, obviously in this case, Chen was jungling, to be fair, but a similar idea as far as the amped farm that just seems to happen on these heroes with the minions. I'm wondering when he gets to level 20, because speaking of gold, obviously 120 gold per minute is nice, but 1,000 creep minimum health is also pretty damn nice to have.
This is just a strange little skirmish going on bot with Weaver trying to battle the Monkey King to no avail. But it's not going to really lead to anything. Yeah, for Chen, I'm pretty sure the 1,000 creep health, or yeah.
Sounds really good.
Oh, that's min health, isn't it? I don't know what that necessarily means. I don't really understand it. So I don't like things I don't understand. I'm a Dota player, so I would go for the gold a minute, but that's just me. Because I just don't understand what the left one means.
All right, yeah, that's actually a good point. It says minimum. I'm not 100% sure what that means either. It's Monkey King's getting a little bit low. But again, they're here to support. Going to be fine. Misery still has a Hand of God. Hasn't used it just yet. Going to be using it here. The Sonic Wave came out. Used it pretty much right after that Crimson Guard buff also applied, of course. So Monkey King just will throw out the Wukong's command, and he himself will just stay in the back lines. And
does PPD realize he's got his heal off right now? Oh, there we go.
Might have been one of those he thought he had it on and didn't really, but the charge coming in. The Global Silence on to the side is creepier. He actually has a Maelstrom picked up, putting on some right-click damage onto the Venom Answer. The duel put up as well, and once again, CCNC going to be picked off without the Poison Nova, but it's still plenty of firepower from Team Dire. The Lincoln Sphere popped on Queen of Pain. They're running after Silence with the Glimmer Cape, helping him stay alive a little bit longer right here. Sand King will be silenced up, but they finish off the Silencer, and now the Rax. It is going down. The Army of Misery, at least the Black Dragon is still here, dealing plenty of damage, and that's another Rax kill in their favor. So Team Dire really trying to finish this game at this point. They're going to go to the top lane. Well, Monkey King wanted to, but the rest decide to fall back and repeat once again later on. But secure more farm, regen, and then truly look to finish the game. I'm sure it's going to be the game plan here for Team Dire. So is there another item maybe coming up? So yeah, Queen of Pain go on the Maelstrom into the Phil Mjolnir. This is obviously I mean, Mjolnir in general this year actually is really good, level 25 talent. So,
well, she'd rather have a Shivas rather than go for Mjolnir, but I'm sure she can't really get that before the tier 3 top push comes. So the Mjolnir is the item in the price range that she can get. So they're just desperately pushing out lanes, really. But the creep army is sitting in mid. I think a good combo, like the Thunderhide does have its uses. You can drop the Frenzy onto a Siege Creep, and then it will kill a tier 3 in like 10 seconds. So that's also fairly handy.
That's nice.
And Silencer has been caught.
Yep, trying to get some vision up. Fortunate thing is when you run that deep, trying to get some vision up, there's a good chance that they see you doing it. And that they did. So they catch him. He's dead for 50 seconds. He doesn't have his Global Silence anyway, so going to be up in 20, though.
Monkey King has his Butterfly now. He's indestructible. And he's sitting with plus 361 damage. He misses the Counter Strike, but it doesn't matter.
Heals onto the Queen of Pain. Spear Breaker charges a couple of heroes right there. Sets up a nice Sonic Wave, actually. But, again, it's the follow-up damage that they really seem to be lacking here. And it's not only that, but you have such good heal sustain between Witch Doctor, obviously the Hand of God heal in general. From Misery, he talked about the buff being applied from the Granite Golem as well, that Crimson Guard. It's just, this is an army here, and they are pushing into SFE's base, looking to finish the game right here, right now. Mega Creeps have spawned, and at this point, SFE just enjoying the overtime phase here against Team Dire, but it will be Team Dire moving on with a 2-0 victory here in this first round matchup, and doing it with the Chen in game number 2. And again, I know this, like we said from the beginning, I feel like this was a let's try it out kind of game, especially with the success Team Secret's been having with it. But how do you feel? Do you think this is a hero that maybe we could start seeing more and more experimented with?
I think it's very, very, very strong. It's like, it's good as a third pick if you see that you can just have a quiet jungling experience. You don't really have to do that much, or you have lanes that you can work with. I think just, it seems to be a very safe pick actually, you know? It doesn't seem to, you don't really gamble that much. You just pressure some lanes, you win your mid matchup.
Yeah.
And then you're happy to sit with it until the mid game. But I think you need to be comfortable pushing like the 20 to 35 minute mark kind of thing. So like for maybe 25 to 35 minutes, you want to have a tier 3 push going. If you can't really achieve that with a Chen pick, then I think you've it's either not the right Chen game or you've done things a bit wrong. But as you can see, things went pretty well in this game for the Dire. So
Radiant victory.
the hero seems to be pretty effective.
No, I mean, let's think back. It went pretty well, but to be fair, SFE, they actually had some good chances early on. There were moments there where we were suggesting Team Dire was in a tough spot even, but ultimately, you know, it was that bottom lane. It was where they dove the secondary tower to get the LC, and that's where it just snowballed. That whole save your teammate syndrome kind of kicked in for SFE, and then they went with the buyback, tried to really make a heavy initiation. Didn't really connect, and then Team Dire capitalized and just went off from there. But yeah, I'm with you. Again, I've always been a fan of this hero. Just from an entertainment factor, it's fun to watch, I feel like. And so it would be interesting to see a true jungle hero make his way onto the current competitive meta here, right before the new patch hits, at least. So
yeah, I feel like he has to have some roaming, and he can't just sit in the jungle. But yeah, the roaming factor and the way he can influence lanes more than like he just kind of influences lanes slightly, but that slight influence means that you'll win a lane that you shouldn't, or you'll survive a lane that you wouldn't normally be able to, or you'll have an off laner that's a bit too greedy but does fine because you have that chant. But I'm just looking at this game overall. Yeah, it's just everything was going fine. Like they could take fights. They were going even in fights, even winning some, and then just one bad fight in the way that this draft worked with Vano and Chen and Wish Doctor just sitting there all being extremely tanky. It's like you go from being able to kill 3 heroes in a team fight to being able to kill 1 Venomancer if you drop every single spell that you have. Mm-hmm. And the game goes from, oh, we might have a chance to there's literally nothing that we can do. The game is over.
Yeah.
And that change happens in the snap of a fingers in 2 minutes maybe. And that's the danger when you play against lineups of like Witch Doctor, Vano, Chen. The push starts, and unless something miraculous happens, it just doesn't stop. So overall, good draft from the Dire, or the Radiant in this case. So they kind of played it well.
Yeah, no, good news for SF Express is that it is a double elimination tournament, so at the very least going to get a little more experience. They play the loser of what is the Immortals versus Pikachu, Blue Pikachu even, in that series, which currently is happening, I believe, on Beyond the Summit 2 channel, if you want to check that out. But we are going to be on a break ourselves, and in fact, for this next cast, it's going to be an hour and a half before the next one here. But Ryan, I believe you are going to be having to step out here. It's going to late for you, so want to give you the chance. Any shout-outs, any final words from yourself?
Well, follow my Twitter. It's probably on the title somewhere. Other than that, shout out to UK Dota, I guess. It's coming back from the dead, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for the opportunity to cast, and I believe I need to go to bed. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. Always happy to have you on, and thanks once again for joining me, man. So as far as, again, our coverage here, I'm going to keep the stream on and everything, but it will be an hour and a half before the next match. At least that's the default time of what is 9 p.m. Eastern. Speaking of that next match, we're actually going to go down to the losers bracket now here for the Perfect World NA qualifiers. The one we're going to be casting here is VGJ Storm versus Rattletrap. Rattletrap, the other open qualifier team. They're the ones that qualified out of the first one, actually. I do see that their player names are Lucky57, GU, Monster, Godlike, and GGW. So that's what to look forward to there. I personally don't recognize the names. I'm sure there's people out there that do. We'll see how they perform, though. They lost to Digital Chaos in the first round, which is why they're there. We'll see how they match up against, obviously, a solid team that is VGJ Storm, again, in the losers bracket. So that's set to happen in an hour and a half from now, guys. Going to keep the stream on, but as always, there's a ton of other content going. So if anything, we'll see you back then. Again, I'm BreakCBK. I was joined by Ryan Dota here. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you in about an hour and a half.